And we are recording. Hello, everyone. This is the LP Bros. This is Dave.
Steve.
I'm not one of the LP bros. I'm more of the LP friend.
The
You're the
LP.
LP guest.
You're the LP acquaintance.
Yay!
I'm special.
Yeah, this is Dark Sonic 24, aka Sammy.
Hello.
And I don't know why. I just felt like getting some people together to do a sort of thoughts video, a retrospective, if you will, to quote Brain Scratch, and do kind of like a whole thoughts video about the Kingdom Hearts series, and at the end give our thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 3D. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, throughout the video, you'll have to excuse me if I'm a little biased towards some of the games, because I think on one half of the spectrum, there's like six games mainly. I think three of them are fantastic and awesome, but I think the other three are kind of weak and boring.
Hey, how did all of Oh my god.
Not even starting a few minutes into it, and we've already got interruptions.
Finish your sentence. Yeah.
All
I'm good.
right. So, where do we start first? Kingdom Hearts 1, of course. The first time I was ever exposed to it was when I was also hyping to get a PS2 when I was like 9 or 10 years old. Maybe even 7 years old. I don't remember. Um, yeah, it was probably when I was 8 or 9. And I saw the commercials for it. I thought the song was kick-ass. The game really looked fun to me, honestly, and I thought the whole concept of mixing Disney worlds together with a sort of, uh, Square Enix kind of thing was pretty cool. Though I was still young at the time, I was pretty stupid. I was,
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
um, yeah, but I just thought the whole idea was pretty innovative, and it wasn't until like 2007, maybe even later than that, that I actually got off my ass and paid money for the game. And
Took you long enough.
unfortunately, I played Kingdom Hearts 2 first with the better gameplay, so I wasn't really able to get into it as much. But I don't know. But yeah,
Uh,
that's my first experience with Kingdom Hearts. What about you, Steve?
my first experience with Kingdom Hearts was I saw the commercial for Kingdom Hearts 1, then I was at Target, and I'm like, oh, cool, they got that game with the cool commercial. Let me buy it. Bought it, just started playing it, and I did not have a memory card again at that point.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like I kept playing Disney Island. Oh my gosh, I don't want to know how many times I played Disney Island,
Disney Island.
Destiny Island, whatever it is. I'm going from memory here.
Yeah.
So I mean, I played that thing. I don't want to know how many times. So I learned every nook and cranny. Then when I got the memory card and I started going through the game, I'm like, this game is awesome. It's a huge universe, and my mind kind of went blown. And that was my first experience with Kingdom Hearts.
Wait, when did you first get it?
While the commercials for Kingdom Hearts 1 were still running.
Okay, so back in like 2002, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
Man, I'm definitely jealous. My first experience with Kingdom Hearts was seeing the commercials on TV, hearing the song, thinking it was like the stupidest thing ever. So like, what is it? Mickey Mouse with I was a brilliant 10-year-old at this time. So, as we don't know, when we're 10,
Though I
as a
was only
10-year-old,
10, I was a prodigy.
when you're 10, you're always so obsessed with being an adult that you kind of look back at this other stuff and you're like, Mickey Mouse, man, I don't want any of that. That's for babies. So, I saw the commercials on TV and I saw it was like Mickey Mouse with a giant key, and I'm like, this is, well, I don't even know what to think of this.
It's suggestive.
So I just, so I kind of ignored it. And a friend of mine had an older sister who owned the game. So my older sister actually borrowed it from her. And I'm sitting there Saturday afternoon, bored out of my mind. And like I didn't have any internet at the time. I'd played all my other games. So I look at the cover and I'm like, look at this. Oh my god, the moon is a heart. This is like the gayest thing ever. Oh, this is gonna be so stupid. Let me pop it in just to laugh at it for, like an hour or two. 6 hours later, I was hooked. And ever since then, I've been a huge Kingdom Hearts fan.
Wait, it
So,
took you 6 hours to get hooked?
well, Okay, no, not necessarily. I'm just saying. 6 hours later, I was still sitting butt on chair, uh,
I could
playing.
honestly say, like, out of all the Kingdom Hearts commercials I've ever seen, I think Kingdom Hearts 1 had the best advertisement.
I think you see, I differ on that one. I think KH2 had a better commercial.
I don't remember any of them. I know. I think I do remember the one for the first one had like it did have simple and clean in the background,
Yeah, it did.
and it showed Mickey and says. So I do remember that one. I'm guessing Kingdom Hearts 2 also like had like Sanctuary or something playing with background music.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because, like, I
Yeah, it was
think all,
Sanctuary was the name of the song.
I just
Right.
think that maybe I think they're actually more equivalent if you look at them from a distance, but like they're both kind of the same kind of quality of commercial, but I think the wow factor comes from seeing it for the first time, you know? When something's been done a second time, it doesn't have that wow effect on you.
Yeah, like Mickey and spiky haired guy the game.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
weird. Um,
Want to
and,
find
and
out where Sora gets his hair gel? Play and find out.
I
And
don't want to.
if I may diverge for a bit, I really wish for the newer games, when they're working on like advertising and marketing stuff like that. I love the songs by Utada Hikaru, but she doesn't make anymore. So it's like after
Which
Kingdom
one is
Hearts
she?
2,
She's
she's
the
the singer. She did Simple and Clean and Sanctuary.
All right, that's all. Oh,
Uh,
she did both.
yeah, she's the same J-pop singer that did both of them, and
Yeah,
she's
shows how
great.
much I pay
Yeah,
attention.
she's got a lot of talent because she can speak both Japanese and English and can transfer her songs really well into English.
She
right,
can.
and,
I
and I
really
mean, and
like
she's
that.
still like really popular within like the whole anime fandom and stuff like that. Like she had a concert, people were really into it. Um, but the thing is, for whatever reason, they might have specifically said I don't know, but after Kingdom Hearts 2, she did Sanctuary and then never did another song, and so I'm okay with them, maybe not using her again for another song if she doesn't want to do that, but
But
like.
god damn it, make a new song.
I'm so tired. I swear I love both of those songs, but I'm so sick of Sanctuary. Like when I heard that song playing in the Kingdom Hearts 3D trailer, I was tempted to just close it right there. And like, God damn it, I'm so sick of this song.
I
I
know.
liked it.
I think that I think that they're waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out to actually get her back and do a song, but I just hope it's as good as it was, what, how many years has it been?
Yeah, this has to be like this song is gonna have to be the Jesus of musical composition to live up to all this.
The game itself, Sammy, is going to have to be the Jesus of all gaming. I'm sorry, we've been waiting way too long for that. Um,
It's okay, guys. As soon as Versus 13 is done, oh wait,
yeah, that's that.
yeah, this is never gonna happen.
Uh, screw you, Square. Um, but anyway, I guess we'll start giving our opinions on the games individually. Kingdom Hearts 1, when Square was Squaresoft and not Square Enix before they had the second merge. Um, I think that like after playing Kingdom Hearts 2, I didn't really get the wow effect of that game because it felt slow and clunky, and in truth it was, but it was the first of its kind, you know. Uh,
Right.
but
It's
sometimes, go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say like next to some other hack and slash games like I don't know if DMC was still new at the time. Was it the first one? I think like the first Devil May Cry was still a new game around that time, wasn't it? Like 2001.
I think so. I think that yeah, it came out like a year before Kingdom Hearts.
Right. After all that, it's after that game, DMC is a lot faster. It's more fluid. Kingdom Hearts definitely had a clunkier combat system, and I can't forgive it because it's the first of the series. That was the first time Square tried something like that, I believe. But definitely going back, it's really hard to play it now.
I did like the magic system better than Kingdom Hearts 2's magic system, whereas every time you hacked someone, your MP little bar would go up. I really liked that innovative system. I even liked, the magic system to an extent, but honestly, like they introduced a lot of things in the game, and as cool as they were, they didn't really use them to their full potential. I didn't really find myself using that much magic. From time to time, I just used the cure to, you know, get myself out of a situation. But I didn't use the fire. I didn't use, you know, the different magic abilities all that much.
Hmm.
I mean,
Uh,
did you use it a lot?
I really haven't played the game in a long time, but going from memory, at the very least in comparison to Kingdom Hearts 2 and Days or something, it definitely was a lot more focused on the magic aspect. Like it had more of a balance between the magic and
And
mashing the X, yeah, mashing the X button.
yeah, that's
Um,
that's something I'm gonna get into when we get to Kingdom Hearts 2.
right, like it was the combat. Oh, I remember that game. Now, granted, I was a kid when I played this, so I don't know how well this stance would hold up now. But that game was like balls to the walls hard, from what I can remember.
Oh yeah, even on easy mode, I had a hard time with it. Need I remind you, the Riku Ansem boss battle in Hollow Bastion
Oh Lord,
Yeah.
the worst part about that
is that
is
you can't. Yeah,
you can't skip cutscenes.
exactly. I If there's one gripe that I have with that game is that it's that you can't skip the cutscenes, and that cutscene is at least 6 to 7 minutes long, and that just is unforgivable. I'm
Yeah, and
sorry.
the final boss, I remember drove me insane when I played that game, because
I don't think that's the hardest boss of the main story though. Like I definitely think the Riku Ansem boss to me was a lot more difficult.
I thought I remember I think I did have more trouble with Ansem and his little shadow thing on
Shadow.
Destiny Islands, where the thing was just like floating around, and then like
Yeah,
one hit from it would knock
exactly.
out like half your HP.
Hmm.
So learning that thing's attack pattern took like at least 3 deaths, and then oh my god, hearing him lecture me about hearts and darkness and whatever the hell for about like 10 minutes each. Yeah, oh my god, that drove me crazy. I did that.
Yeah, it drove me pretty insane. Once you got past that part though and got onto the second half of the boss battle, I don't think you had to watch it anymore,
Not really.
which is good. But
I liked
I don't know.
flying around. That was fun.
I definitely think the boss battle itself, like as you go along, is actually a really fun boss battle. Like you go from rescuing Donald and Goofy to just going around fighting the Heartless, and then going back to fighting Ansem again. And I don't know, although the boss was freaking weird towards the end, like with the whole mermaid darkness.
Because that made perfect sense.
Yeah. I definitely think that it was actually a pretty damn fun boss fight. And once you found out that you could just go to the back of his head and just keep whacking him there,
Yeah,
it
I actually think I did get through the final phase of that fight without getting killed because um, I remember and that's the funny thing about the whole not being able to skip cutscenes ordeal is that holy crap is that some good motivation because I got through the first phase of the fight after getting killed like 6 times and I thought I was done with the game and they're like surprise nope phase 2 and I'm like oh no I'm not freaking dying here I'm not doing that again and I'm like I was probably more careful than I had been throughout that entire game and I found like the little, weak spot where you could basically just exploit the game and hit him on the back of the head a bunch of times without him being able to hit you.
I definitely think that uh the game does not punish you for dying in and of the fact of that it affects the gameplay. It punishes you with the cutscenes, really.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Like people, complain about games punishing you, for dying. Kid Icarus, people, I know some idiot was complaining that the game punishes you for the difficulty setting, which I think is a completely stupid argument, but that's probably for another time. But this game really does punish you for, dying on boss battles. Oh, and I guess we should talk about the boss battles as well. I thought actually most of them were really, really innovative. Like for a game that's so clunky and hard to control, they came out with some pretty neat boss battles. I think at least something better than Kingdom Hearts. Oh, later Kingdom Hearts games would go to achieve. Like you had the Ursula boss battle where you had to swim around. You had the once again the Riku boss battle where you're in this tight space and he can do a lot of damage to you, so you got to keep running. You had the the Nightmare Before Christmas one, where you had to fight Oogie Boogie's gigantic body
Oh my gosh,
and
that
pop the
oh my
pus
god.
bubble. Yeah, pop the pus bubbles and everything.
Yeah, well, and if you get hit by one of those chains or something, and you were that unlucky, which I was a lot, that you get knocked all the way back down, you just look and go, no, just no. You
That is not Zen gaming.
Oh my,
didn't know about Zen Gaming, so I explained it to you.
oh my god. No, and then like I'd actually argue that the first Kingdom Hearts, from what I can remember, probably did the boss fights a bit better than the second game did, because again, this is pretty vague memory I'm going by, but there was like a lot more of a focus on using the dodge roll a lot, and
Yeah.
you had to focus on like dodging around and weaving in and out of their attacks and then hitting them at the right time. Whereas with Kingdom Hearts 2, it was more like you attack. You're basically waiting for their weakness to open up.
And
You
then you
go in there,
attack, step back,
And then you wait.
attack, step back. Yeah.
right? And it's like compare the two Oogie Boogie fights. And while I don't really remember the one from the first game,
The first
the,
one, he was like on a giant game wheel, and you had to keep dodging his blade attack. Then you'd wait for him to jump down, hit him a few times, then he'd throw stuff down. You had to dodge the bombs, and it just repeats.
But then, and then for the second half, he turns into a gigantic monster, and you have to jump on top of the different things and pop pus bubbles.
right, like I think the fact that I don't remember that one, but I do remember the second one, actually works in its favor because I remember hating the second one. Because the whole fight with the conveyor belt is it's like, you're stuck on one conveyor belt, you got invisible walls on both sides, or, whatever it was. It was just so frustrating. I hated that fight.
Are you talking
Um,
about the second one?
yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2.
There's conveyor belts everywhere in Kingdom Hearts 2. Everywhere. Uh, I I didn't find it as frustrating as you, but I just found it to be kind of boring. Like there were a lot of cheap hits too, since Sora kind of kept his clunky control sort of in from Kingdom Hearts 2. Um, but back to Kingdom Hearts 1, I do think like the boss battles were innovative, but like you said, like you remember hating the boss because the control was so clunky. The game tried to be a platformer and a hack and slash RPG all at the same time. And you know,
Oh my god.
it succeeded in some levels, but the platforming is just awful. It's so hard.
Yeah, don't even get me started on the platforming in the first game. Good lord.
My gosh.
So
And that's
many
one of the
bad
things
memories
that's one of the
trying to
things
get the
that
Cheshire Cat's treasures in
Gosh, no,
Alice in Wonderland,
please
trying to
don't
get
bring
on
that
that.
one up again. Please, no.
I just hated
that
that part.
that's what's so disappointing about Kingdom Hearts 2 is like you know in a lot of ways Kingdom Hearts 2 they take the problems that Kingdom Hearts 1 had and instead of improving on them they just get rid of them completely. So like
Exactly. They cut away from the platforming altogether, and I don't think that was the right answer to that.
right, there was there's no platforming at all as opposed to better platforming. There's the overworld. I remember like people complained about like getting lost in each of the worlds, not really knowing where to go because they were so big and there was no sense of direction.
I had that a
So
few
then
times.
and I remember that happening in Kingdom Hearts 1 like in at the beginning in Traverse Town, I think.
Yeah, where you had to go through specific doors to activate specific events where like it'll give you a mini cutscene of Donald and Goofy.
Right, and that was like, I mean, I had no idea where I was going. So, if people complained about that, then Square just decided instead of, giving you maybe like a little indicator, like a mini map or that shows you where to go, like, I don't know, something. They're just like, okay, let's just make everything really linear.
Yeah,
And then,
that's you know, I I don't know why they did that though. The game could have been so much bigger and easier to I don't know. We'll get to it when we get to it. Going off topic, what did you guys think of the world selection in Kingdom Hearts 1?
What ticked me off with that, I mean, I like that there were so many worlds to explore, but what I didn't like is every time I wanted to go to a new world, I'd have to go through that stupid flight thing with the gummy through space. It's just, oh my gosh, I get it. After the fourth or fifth time, I'm like, is just make me warp, please. Please just, I don't care if I don't get to do this whole space thing. Just let me go from one world to the next without having to blast through. 2,000 heartless spaceships that should not even exist. Just why?
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, in a way, I agree with you, but it's not like I can understand where you're coming from on that, discussion, but at the same time, I don't really mind it as much as once you get the warp drive, you never have to go back to a world and do the same exact thing. Like if you're going back to a world for exploration, it's not a huge deal in that regard, but it does. I don't think it's so much as like hard or frustrating as it is just kind of boring.
Right, and it's that's the biggest problem, especially at Kingdom Hearts One. Um, the gummy ship I don't think is an inherently bad idea. It does work to sort of mix up the gameplay a little bit to keep things from getting too mundane. But personally, I wasn't really that into them. And I don't get me wrong, I love on-rail shooters. Like Star Fox 64 is great. Kid Icarus Uprising is one of my favorite Nintendo games. I love that game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, but the thing with the gummy ship, especially in Kingdom Hearts One's case, is just it's not as good as those. So in Kingdom, going ahead to Kingdom Hearts 2 for a bit, uh, even though there were a lot of improvements, it still felt like the ship was kind of clunky to control. You weren't really doing much. You were just kind of holding down the X button and watching your gummy ship like just puke out bullets at all over the screen, and it wasn't really that involving. It just wasn't that fun.
And
Kingdom Hearts 1. Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
in terms of like progression, all it did was get you to the next world. Like, sure, you collected things, and did they have like a? I don't remember. Could you upgrade your gummy ship in Kingdom Hearts One? Like,
Yes.
I never bothered, but everything you collected in those were simply used, I think, just for the gummy ship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never helped you in like they never helped you, Donald or Goofy, even progress in levels, in skills. It never helped you do any of that. So at that point, I'm just like, well, if I'm only getting more gummy ship parts and the gummy ship levels are boring and easy, what's the point?
Nothing.
Right.
That's the point.
And with Kingdom Hearts 2, they're just kind of dull, and it's like easily my least favorite part of the game. Well, not my least favorite, but I guess we'll get to that when we talk about Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
Um, Kingdom Hearts 1, though, they are just boring as shit. Like, God, they're so slow and clunky and
I yeah,
have no
I
sense of urgency.
and
Because
as
it's like, um, driving the gummy ship through space in Kingdom Hearts 1 is is just like about as exciting as riding a Segway through the park.
Hey, hey, segways are fun.
um like I think the other part is that I get tired of staring at the backgrounds, and as Sonic 4 Episode 2 will teach you with the special stages, there's only so many there's only so much time you could stare at a trippy background before you start to go a little crazy.
Yeah.
um, I mean, I didn't really like mind it the first time I played it, but I'm like, this is gonna speed up, right? And it never did, and that's what's really annoying. So
There's a
anyway,
lot of really annoying things that can happen throughout that game.
I think we should go back on topic with the world selection. Destiny Islands is, obviously a Square Enix, well, Tetsuya Nomura type level, just one of those things. Not bad starter level. I like the look of it. I never get tired of really seeing it from game to game. It's kind of just become the staple to what, it's just there. It's just
Right, and it's sort of yeah, it works symbolically as when you think about it, where it's the whole point of the game is trying to go back to
to the
Destiny Islands with your two friends. You're playing a story, you want Riku and Kairi back, and you just want to make life simple again. You want to live your life, and what's more simple than an island?
Yeah, exactly.
You
You
know,
want to make
so
your life simple and clean. Puts on sunglasses. Ow! I'm sorry. Um, I,
right. So that works. I like that about it.
I like how for a starting world, it's small, it's easy to navigate. I don't have a problem with it.
Oh, hold on one sec. I will be right with you.
Okay. Alice in Wonderland is the next one.
Oh no, not Alice in Wonderland.
I was not a huge fan of that world at all. I mean, for like the first Disney World they introduced, I think the second one, I think you can also go to Tarzan, but I think it's recommended that you do Alice in Wonderland's world first.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, and I didn't like that world
that
nearly
world
as much as I
pissed me off so much because there were so many times I'm like, all right, how do I get up there? Okay, what do I do now? Am I just running around in circles? Like, what am I supposed to be doing?
And besides that, it's not even a really great like it's not even
It's
a
not.
really great world to look at.
No, it's just. I mean, it's just a bunch of walls with paintings. That's about it.
Exactly. And I think that's it. I know what they were trying to go for.
And they failed.
Making it look like a storybook, but it fell flat on its face. I hate Alice in Wonderland's world. In every
Yep.
single game I hate it.
Yeah, they never did make it. I mean, good by any stretch at all, ever.
I didn't like the Cheshire Cat parts.
I do. I don't.
Well, I like the Cheshire Cat himself. I like the character and his origin in Alice in Wonderland, Vania stuff.
Right.
Uh, but I didn't like the fact what you had to do,
No.
collect the treasures and everything, the
Oh yeah,
clues.
that thing sucked. It took me forever to get that done.
Yeah, and that's not a good sign. Like, when you give the player that impression, is that it kind of gives you the impression is like, well, this is the first world. This is probably what you're going to be doing for the entirety of the game.
I didn't make that connection. I was just kind of like, is it over yet? Is it over? Can I go to the next? Can I go to the next world now?
Can I stop
Please.
playing the game now? No. Uh, yeah, like it's not even a fun stage to look at. I I did not like it. Um, if Sammy's there, do you want to give your
Yeah, that's
thoughts
Sammy
on?
because you can hear all the feedback. It sounds like he's right next to a highway.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland. It's kind of an odd. I really just don't even like that movie.
I no
So
no one does. Well, I
I like the Tim Burton version.
yeah, that was pretty good.
honestly, I'm not really a fan of any of them.
I haven't played
I
the
just
Alice in Wonderland or the Alice Returns games, whatever they are. Like
It's just a basically a run around hack and slash gore game.
I hear it's really awesome though.
Oh yeah,
I
I
mean,
have too, but I mean, it's just
I've heard some good things. The Alice games, um, we're getting way off topic.
All
No,
right.
I was
Anyway,
gonna
back.
say those look really cool, but I don't like Disney's version of Alice in Wonderland,
Well,
and because I don't really care for the characters or the way everything looks. So, and then the whole point of Kingdom Hearts is seeing all of these worlds like come to life, and you being able to Final fantasize them.
yeah, I get to work with Tarzan. Yeah, and that's
Right.
basically it.
So yeah, kicking Clayton's ass was
well, I
That was
really
rewarding.
awesome.
to
In
be
my
fair, I think Kingdom Hearts 1 had a better. I think the Disney worlds were more bearable there than in other games. Besides Birth by Sleep, I think Birth by Sleep also did it very well. But I think
Nope.
every game besides that did a pretty horrible job at even connecting the worlds together, feeling like they're actually separate worlds. Uh, I think Kingdom Hearts 1 did a good job with that. But Alice in Wonderland, like as I was saying before, can't you agree that it's not even an interesting like place to look at?
Yeah.
Yep.
It feels so small and confined with all the box like shaped objects, and I don't like it. And I
That
also
wasn't there like a really annoying mini game where like before you found the keyhole thing where it's like you have to enter through different doors and they all warp you to different places and it was really confusing. I vaguely remember something like that. I might be thinking of something else.
Yes, I think you might be.
because yeah, I think you're I don't know. I don't really remember. I tried to forget about that world. Unfortunately, it's the first world in the game,
There was a lot of like hunting for stuff where you have to find the stupid treasure boxes and
which does not give you a good first impression.
No, the biggest treasure hunt that really ticked me off in that game were all the keyholes.
Well, that's the main point of the game, Steve.
I know, but it was like why I mean the places they were hidden were so obscure you would be like,
Well,
wait,
that's
this
the
is
point.
I know it is, but I mean it should have been at least slightly easier to find all these things. That's just my 2 cents because it took me forever to even figure out I needed to close all the keyholes because I'm well me.
I
Huh.
disagree with you there, but all right. Next world. The Great. What is it? Great Jungle or something? Tarzan's world. I actually thought this was a pretty. I thought it was a pretty cool world. It felt
I did.
open.
I like the whole sliding through vines and all that stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I thought
found
that
that
was
cool.
neat.
The only problem I had with it is when you're actually like the swing from vine to vine part didn't bother me all that much. It was the fact that if you fell down, you had to go through that whole hippo section again. I didn't like that part.
Yeah, the hippos suck.
The boss is pretty hard too. Well, I think all the bosses are, pretty hard, but that one is especially annoying because the boss can turn invisible. I also did like that they included the cheetahs in there, or the tigers, whatever they were,
Cheetah.
and yeah, it's not a bad world. I really can't say that much. It stayed pretty close to the animated movie, which is what I really do like the colors and everything. Looked
The
really nice.
callus.
Olympus Coliseum,
Oh no.
Meh.
too small, too
Might not
easy.
Yeah.
work as a coliseum
It's
kind
only your
of
only
person.
reason to even go back and traverse there, or not traverse. What am I saying? Go back there is to do the different challenges and everything. Maybe get a few levels on your way.
Yeah, that's about it.
And I didn't find it all that interesting. I think like most Final Fantasy VII fans at that point went nuts when they saw Cloud. But
Cloud on my.
um, all right, what's next? I'm trying to think now. Oh wait, we forgot to mention Traverse Town.
Meh.
No.
Just meh for you.
Yeah,
I
I liked it. I
actually,
mean, it was
um,
really cool for one
I
go.
guess in terms of the way like aesthetically and with the music and stuff, I remember liking that. I just I just didn't like the way the level itself was structured. How I had no idea where I was going.
Yeah.
Where the way the cutscenes triggered themselves. I didn't really like that about it.
I like the color palette of it. I think that was really good. Like I don't know. I like the way the place looked. I didn't really mind traversing through it all that much. The main problem I think all of us had was
What to do next?
trying to find what to do next. Um, Kind of got annoying in my eyes, but that's just me. Um, I'm not really going in any particular order here. Halloween Town.
I loved it.
I
Halloween Town is great. The
It
music,
is.
especially. How if you don't like that song, something's just wrong with you.
Oh yeah. Do 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 do
Ugh.
do 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 do
All right,
do
all right,
do
Steve. You'll have to
do
say
do
one
do.
thing, Steve. Um, I very much enjoyed that world as a whole. I even enjoyed like seeing Jack Skellington kick ass and everything, that usual stuff. Um, I don't know. I just thought it was a fun little level, and like I said, with I think the best part about Kingdom Hearts, the whole series, is that when they make a new world or put in a new IP from the other stuff, they really do a good job of transporting the art style of those movies and putting them into a game. I think that's, it's unmatched really. Agrabah. Was that in there? Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, Agrabah was right. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't
It
know.
was, it was.
yeah, it was. It was. That was when you fought Jafar as like a genie or what? Wait, you did that in both games. Never mind.
I didn't I don't know. It's just kind of a pain in my ass really. Like I didn't really like traversing like exploring that place too much. There were actually a lot of tough heartless and the boss battles were annoying. I hated when you had to fight that entrance face thingamajig, when you're entering the caverns and everything. I didn't like that part.
I don't remember much about the world, so I can't be much help on this one.
I'm guessing I'm the only one who really remembers that world.
Yeah, I don't remember it at all.
Atlantica, horrible swimming controls.
Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, I remember that world now. That thing sucked.
Um, I Yeah, it wasn't a bad world. Well, except for the swimming controls, I didn't understand it all that much. I didn't really like it too much. Really, it didn't really catch my interest all that much. I'm guessing Sammy has nothing to say about that one.
Sammy's on mute right now. I guess he was probably distracted or something.
All right. Hollow Bastion. Hard to traverse through.
Yeah, I think we've already gone over that one.
I did not like making my way down to that place. It was just so annoying. I mean, I just hated it. I'm sorry.
Again, I liked it, but then again, I mean, there were a lot of things about that game I liked, and I didn't have a completely open eye with that.
Yeah, I guess now that you really look at it as an older person, it's like, well, I have nostalgia for this, but
But no, I don't really care.
no, I don't. I really don't. All
What
right.
world are we talking about now?
Hollow Bastion.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was, I was,
Oh,
I was
I
saying how
remember.
hard it is to traverse through.
Yeah, I remember that place being fucking huge. Like, it was so hard to get around that place.
Not to
Um,
mention that I think this is the biggest middle finger to pat out the game, is that once you're done making your way up there, defeating Ansem, you turn all the way back and go back to Traverse Town. And then you have to make your way through all of that again. Bull crap.
yeah.
I, uh, words cannot describe. Like, especially when we're doing the LP for the LP Bros.
Yeah,
I
you were getting pissed.
Oh, we were so pissed. We were so tired at that point too. Like we actually almost beat the whole game in one night. So, I mean,
And then came all the being pissed off, and oh my gosh, my parents are they freaking deaf right now?
um,
Holy
Monstro,
shit!
Monstro,
Which one?
Monstro, the gigantic whale from.
Ah, yes, I remember that whale. That
It
was like a really, really weird level.
was very trippy.
Yeah, I'm trippy.
The only annoying part I found with it is when you have to go through all those little doors and everything trying to get to one part, but then they lead you to another. Like you really need to memorize the exact
The
position.
layout,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. The layout. You really need to know the layout of that part,
or else
or else.
you'll spend 30 minutes just trying to figure out where to go, and you won't find it.
What about you, Sammy?
I agree. A lot of the that's just the case with a lot of the things being frustrating with the sense of direction and whatnot.
Yeah, it wasn't really so much the sense of direction. It was just the fact that it was hard to even get around. Like, I think I speak for all of us when I say that whenever, like I think Kingdom Hearts One had a very heavy emphasis on trying to get you to platform, but when they tried to get you to platform, it just falls on its face so hard. Like,
Yeah.
if they gave Sora a competent jump and a good camera to show where you're going to land, I think it would have been half decent. But in that regard, I just think the way it is now, at least, I don't think it works out at all. And with Monstro, I think the part of it had a heavy emphasis because I know there were parts where if you fell down, you would have to start a whole part over again, going through those damn doors.
Yeah, it was like being stuck in. It was like when you fell down in Tarzan World. You had to like get all the way
Yeah,
back up.
with the hippos, yeah, like I was saying before. All right, and finally the end of the world. It was only like a couple rooms, right?
I don't. Like I said, it's been a while, so I don't remember.
I know the first part consists of like this invisible wall pushing you back, but you got to keep going and just fighting Heartless at random points, and then sometimes these vortexes will suck you up. Eventually, you'll just go into all these different trippy parts. It's a really short world, honestly. I have nothing to say about it.
I wouldn't really consider it a world. It's just basically like a final whatever.
It's the
Yeah.
prelude to fighting Ansem, or not the
Thanks.
prelude. It's what I mean. It's
Yeah, that's just leading up to the fight.
Of course, the final part of it consists of this door with a heart on it, the heartless shape on it, and you have to fight a whole crap ton of heartless to even get it open. So, as a whole, I think Kingdom Hearts 1 is a very flawed game today, but I could see how, like, people with nostalgic reference to the game, like Ryan, unfortunately he's not here, and Frank,
Yeah.
they both I still love the game, and they still both consider it their favorite Kingdom Hearts game to date. And
Um,
I just
I
can't agree with that.
I can see why people would say that, though not necessarily just because of the gameplay.
It was also
Um,
because of the story, because it had, I think, the best story out of all of them, really.
right, like Kingdom Hearts just had a very, very different tone from the other games, where it was like usually the way I say it is it seems to be like with Kingdom Hearts, it was very much a crossover between Disney and Square Enix.
Yeah,
Whereas with Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts whatever else, it was more like Kingdom Hearts. It's not really just a crossover anymore. It's its own
Mhm.
thing.
And that's where
Um,
I have problems with pretty much the whole series. Like,
Personally,
so to see Sora and the Square Enix characters interacting with each other in the first game, that really hit a soft spot with me. Like, I welcomed that a lot. Like, because the writing was good back then, it felt like the voice actors were taking their roles seriously. When Sora gives his heart out to Kairi, spoilers, and like gives his heart up, he turns the Keyblade on himself. That was such a great moment. Like, it made going through that Riku Ansem boss so worth it. Like, the
it did.
turnout is the ending is so amazing. Like, I love the story of Kingdom Hearts 1. It just had a way of building up the characters that no other game has done.
personally, I have to say I do agree. Or not, I don't agree. I I do believe that Kingdom Hearts 2, like I like the series better as its own thing rather than just being a crossover because I do like where they went with the story. I do want to see a lot of these questions, that the other games have answered. Uh, and even though there definitely is a very big difference in tone and the writing can be pretty crap a lot of the time, um,
Especially in the Disney worlds.
Yeah.
especially in the everywhere. Good God, like
Oh no,
you know,
actually, I thought Kingdom like if you looked at it a certain way, I know this is stretching it, but Kingdom Hearts 2, when you're actually getting to the good parts of the game, the writing is good. It's just, we'll get to that when we get to that.
I think the one
Naturally.
that had the best writing would be ironically enough, Days.
Oh God.
Even though Days had like a really uh,
Well, yeah, I guess so.
a really slow storyline. It just the way the actual dialogue itself was really well written from what I can remember, as opposed to Birth by Sleep, which is like, has the darkness taken you, Tara? And I'm like, God, like this is so bad. Um,
Sometimes I just think it's the voice actors not taking their role seriously, but you
I
know.
mean, how could you take that seriously?
Yeah, it's Sonic Adventure 1-esque writing.
Oh no.
Where are you
Oh.
going, you big drip?
Oh
This is happening.
No, it's not.
yeah, this is God.
Froggy. Oh my god.
Yeah, I really. It's so hard to. It's clear that the game is trying to be serious, but God, like it. No,
There's other
no, it
ways
just
to be
fails
Just
so hard.
no.
like
No, that just doesn't
I
work.
think that Kingdom Hearts 1 just had that sort of it had that serious undertone but also a comedic value to it. And Kingdom Hearts 2 just tries to take that comedic value away and make it all serious, and that sucks. I'm sorry.
That's just not right.
That's why I like Ven so much in Birth by Sleep. It's because he's a character, he's a little kid, and he's got a ton of energy in him. And he doesn't really care about anything but
I don't
his
care.
friends and everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I really liked the way they wrote him in. But as in Terra and Aqua, they tried to write them out as too much adult for Kingdom Hearts, and that's why I didn't like them nearly as much as Ven. Um,
I thought I thought Ven's struggle was really just the one I could sympathize the most with. Um, because he's got his whole thing where he doesn't know who he is, and he's basically being used by everybody he knows,
exactly.
except for Terra, Aqua, and Vent, or sorry, Terra and Aqua, except those two are like already being
Manipulated.
manipulated by those same people that used him already, and they're in danger, so he wants to help them out, and
And that's
that's
why they
great.
love him so much, you know?
Right, and but then Terra is just rock stupid. Like
Yeah, exactly. He's
he's like,
the Knuckles of the Kingdom Hearts.
like so you've got Master Xehanort, who's just
Master Riku.
absolutely like so obviously evil. If I saw this guy in real life, I'd be like, okay, look, would you look at that beard? How
He's
could you?
he's
How
voiced
could you
by
trust this guy?
Leonard Nimoy. God
Yeah,
damn it, Square.
he's bald. He's got the goatee. He's got like
He's got
bulging
the
veins in his head, and
he's got
he's got orange eyes.
yeah,
Good lord, you can't get much more evil than that.
with the way he
He's
dresses.
he's also the only dark guy in the Kingdom Hearts universe.
Right, so he's just
Forgot
like, I mean, he's so clearly evil, and so Terra's just like, oh, you say that I ought to follow the darkness in my heart,
you
but,
say
but
no? You say no? Oh, that's unbelievable. How do you know you
you
came to that conclusion?
really just the biggest thing about Terra is he reminds me of Anakin.
Oh
Oh,
my
Oh,
can
gosh.
we like move the topic back to because we'll get to Birth by Sleep. I
okay,
promise.
all right, sounds
Steve, I
right.
don't think we ever will.
Uh,
I actually forgot what we were talking about
yeah.
there.
But as a whole, I like Kingdom Hearts 1. It's still today a pretty solid game. It just falls flat on its face due to its, major problems. Like
Wait,
not
we're still only on Kingdom Hearts 1?
yeah.
Oh crap.
I think if they were to ever come out with a collection, and they're putting Kingdom Hearts 1 obviously on there. Um they definitely need to fix like they some of the problems that are in Kingdom Hearts 1 are definitely fixable. I think I definitely think they should put in the option to skip the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Right, so did they announce an HD collection for Kingdom Hearts yet?
They've only hinted at it, and even if it was announced, it'd be like 7 years until we got it, right? So,
7 years later, this happened.
no, well, Steve, you don't have so much exposure to Square, but when
Nope.
Final Fantasy 13 was announced, we didn't get it until like what, 4 or 5 years later, maybe even longer. So this is pretty much Square's way. They'll say it, they'll tease it, and then maybe like eventually they'll just put it down as false, and then they'll do it again. And it's Square. Um, but if there is an HD collection, I think there could be a lot of things improved. And the way to start is to give the option to skip the cutscenes.
Yeah, that'd be a huge improvement right there.
Um, can you guys think of anything else they could improve?
Um,
Other than the controls and the ability to skip, that's I mean that and the and just take away some of the gummy scenes or making it at least sooner that you get the warp drive, that'd be a lot better.
Well, I doubt they do that.
Shh, I have hope.
I do think the first one had a couple frame rate issues too, but that would be obviously fixed. I mean, I can't really think of anything else besides, that stuff.
That stuff.
I think the only reason they're really hesitating on it actually on an HD collection is mostly because I think they find that little kids are too into Call of Duty and that they
Yeah,
wouldn't
I'm gonna kill you.
they,
Yeah,
they
take
wouldn't
that.
they wouldn't give a game like Kingdom Hearts the benefit of a doubt. And on top of that, it's balls to the walls hard, like Sammy said. I don't think kids really like. This is how I see it. Kids these days really don't have an attention span, and they'll just put a game right down. They're not like me where I played Jack 2 when I was little, and it was balls to the walls hard, but I kept chugging through it because I loved the game so much. I just think times have changed.
Oh, the times they are changing.
Um, what do you think, Sammy?
I I just agree with what you guys said. Apart from the cutscenes and or the lack of the ability to skip cutscenes, I guess the frame rate issues, I don't really remember those, but like, okay, I guess technical problems, fix those up a bit and maybe alter the controls a little bit. That's really all they would have had to do with the game, and I'll be perfectly happy with that.
How long have we been going for? Like 40 minutes and we're still only on Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah, can we please move this along? I want to,
Well,
get done
I
before
can
3 in
safely
the
say,
morning.
yeah, I can safely say that some of them were going to be a little shorter, only because I don't really have much to say about the next game, Chain of Memories and Chain of Memories.
Cart system, stupid. Next game.
No, I mean, my biggest flaw, like, I think the game's biggest gaping flaw is that the game is so boring to play, but the plot is so important to know. Like, and I know that you could just rock a wiki, but for anyone actually just trying to get the full experience, they gotta play the game, and that's a lot. You know, that's a big. Ugh, I don't like Chain of Memories. I don't even
I
like
mean,
the story all that much.
the story. I mean, the story seems like just needless padding.
It's a
You know,
rehash.
yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, you forgot all your memories. You better go get them back. And I'm like, this is like, just the most blatant excuse to make you go through worlds you've already been through. So
And
it,
I'm sure for the time, it was impressive to see a game like Kingdom Hearts on Game Boy, but
it shouldn't have been there in the first place, if you ask me.
I definitely think that the biggest problem with the whole Kingdom Hearts series as a whole is that Tetsuya Nomura puts way too much focus on the handhelds, and Kingdom Hearts is a game I want to dive into and spend time with, not go on a handheld and play. I want to play it on my console, the more powerful system, you know what I mean?
Right. And honestly, just out of everything Chain of Memories gave us, I think that just the best things that game introduced, Axel and Naminé. Those are like the only two things I like about that game.
Yeah, because I did like them. I think this is just me, but I think the Organization 13 is just an overrated, you know, I think they're overrated characters, but I do like Axel Roxas. I like Naminé as a nobody. You know, I enjoyed that stuff. But
I
as a whole, the game's story wasn't even really that great. You just need to know what organization members die, what happens at the end, what the castle's purpose is. And later on, you even figure out how the castle was created in the series, which is freaking awesome.
I I I do like Organization 13, though I would say that they've definitely become overexposed. Like we've got Kingdom Hearts 3D, and good lord, they're still here. Like how many times are we gonna have to wipe these guys out? Like how many
Well,
games are they going to be in? It's just
wait, so they're definitely confirmed to be back in wait,
3D. I mean, the latest trailer showed
I think that's just I don't think it's Axel coming back. I think that's Lee is the
no, no, it's definitely Axel. He's wearing the organization's outfit.
well then maybe he's just back to life. I don't know. I don't think the organization's gonna be
It's
bad.
it's it's shown. There's a little clip in the trailer that shows they're in like that big throne room, and like all the organization members show up, and they're like, Sora, Riku, and Mickey are there, and they're everybody else shows up, and they're like, hey guys, we're back, and Sora's like, oh shit, like.
Oh
So
god.
I mean, they're back again. I'm sick of them, man. I guess like the only good thing I can think of for them coming back is Axel's gonna be back. Possibly Naminé's gonna be back, though I wouldn't count on that since she fused with Kyrie. Um, and I'm really hoping Shion comes back because I actually like Shion a lot, but
Uh
I'll talk more about her when we get to days.
Wait, Shion, what will I do? Who will I eat ice cream with?
best line in video game history.
Oh my god.
But Chain of Memories, like the card system itself, don't get me wrong, it wasn't horrible, but it's not
It's
Kingdom Hearts.
no.
Right, and the thing is, when I buy Kingdom Hearts, it's like the issue with like I wouldn't blame it if it was a spin-off game. And technically it is, but that's like, we've got that's like if Halo Wars, had come out between Halo 2 and 3, and in order to understand Halo 3, you had to have played Halo Wars.
Yeah.
No, just know that it really shouldn't be that way because whatever it could be a very great strategy game. I don't know, but it's not Halo, and I'm not even a Halo fan. I can tell you that. So, just the idea of having like a completely different play style.
Yeah, it pisses me off too, and I dislike it, and I think the PS2 version is a lot better, but that's a stretch to say the least. And I think the only reason the game is like that is because Tetsuya Nomura couldn't see the game working, at its full potential on Game Boy with the same gameplay style as the others. And the only reason he made it on Game Boy is because he was pressured to do so. The whole company was saying, kids want to play this, kids want to play this, but I really like. 'Cause I think he did originally plan on making the game different than what it was.
I don't know. I mean, every kid and their grandfathers had a PS2. It's like
Exactly.
I don't know if I don't did the Wii eventually beat it out. I'm not sure. I think it did. But for a good while, PS2 was the best selling system out there
Well, yeah, it's because it was so easy to program for
because it
the.
was fucking awesome.
It still is
Hell
today.
yeah, PS2! I got mine sitting right next to me. I gotta love that thing.
Who wants to play a GameCube with barely any processing and some disks that can only hold about 3 gigs? We got 8 GB, bitches.
Oh my god.
We got Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sly. Ugh, such good memories.
So many good memories.
And Final
But
Fantasy X. No, wait.
the Final
Oh
Fantasy. Oh shit! Wait, that
no.
game sucked.
Oh, I hate that game. Oh
Yeah,
no.
I mean so we got Chain of Memories. It's just kind of there. I, personally, I didn't have a Game Boy anyway, so I had to skip that game. I just looked up the story and figured it
Had
out
a
for
Game
myself.
Boy, but at that point when it was a 2004 game, right?
I have no idea.
It might have been. I wasn't interested in picking it up. I only heard of it, and I wasn't even interested to pick it up because one, I hadn't played the first game, and at that point I was on my Jack 2 high. I was playing through that game, and I didn't really feel like picking up another game at that point. Plus, I was what, 8, 9 years old, maybe 10. I didn't have any money, so
Who has money now anyway?
not me, because I'm jobless. Um, but yeah, the game's a waste of time. Just look it up on Wikipedia.
Okay, let's move on.
Watch the cutscenes online. It's not worth your time, though. Honestly.
So next game, Kingdom
Thank you.
Hearts 2.
I
I mean,
like
we've already talked a lot about it. Kingdom Hearts 2.
Tagline: Missed potential.
I'd say Kingdom Hearts 2. I still do like Kingdom Hearts 2 better than the first one.
I
I
like it a
loves it.
lot, but I even liked the story back when I first played it. But maybe that's also because I had no idea what was going on and I was trying to figure it out. Uh,
Uh,
like I think the graphics are much improved. I even like the characters a bit. The gameplay is where I think the game really shines, and it's really the saving grace of it that makes it such a good game. But I'm gonna be honest with you here. I don't like the story nearly as much as Kingdom Hearts 2. I didn't really feel for the characters at all.
I did. I liked the characters. I thought it was well
Uh,
done story.
I was explaining this to Ryan the other day. My main problem is that the only time you really need to care about the story is the beginning and the end. Everything in between is padding, which is a bad thing.
I never thought of it that way. Yeah, there was a good amount of stuff with Hollow Bastion and or whatever it was called, like Radiant Garden, and the thing with like the DTD and the
Well,
Thousand Heartless Battle and stuff like that. There
I
was
still
I
some.
have to
enjoyed
admit though.
that. I enjoyed going into Tron's world and everything,
Yeah,
but
that was awesome.
I mean, yeah, sure there were things in between, but you can't deny that there was the padding overdid it.
Yeah, but it's still my favorite Kingdom Hearts game.
It's my second favorite after Birth by Sleep.
It's
Yeah, I
my
never played it.
personal favorite still, only because I think that, well, I'll get to Birth by Sleep when we get to Birth by Sleep, but I I think the game's pretty fantastic. The story just doesn't really grab me as much. Uh, I enjoy the characters, but the writing I think is where they really start to get really weird.
But Dave, what about your heart? What if, but the darkness in your heart, Dave. Don't listen to that.
I listen to the darkness in my mind every day.
Thank you, Steve.
No problem. By the way, there's a bomb under your seat.
Okay. Uh, um, the beginning
Yes.
starts with like maybe what? How long is Roxas's opening?
Maybe a half hour to an hour at most.
I
And
know
that's
it took
if
me
you're
a
like
few
seriously trying to
days.
find everything.
I first played the game and I was expecting Sora. I at least had a little knowledge before playing that game, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Oh yeah, when I started up and I first saw him, I'm like, okay, so I guess they gave Sora a makeover. Like I'm watching this, and it's like, Roxas. I'm like, who the hell is Roxas? Because I didn't know. And it's like, then later on in the game, I finally connected the two. I'm like, oh wait, it's his.
Yeah.
Oh
Um.
my god, the first like 5 hours I game with Roxas, I didn't have a problem with it the first time I played it, probably because I was so young.
Yeah, but it's
Uh,
when it's Kingdom Hearts 2 is actually like the kind of game that like you want to replay, but you don't want to do the opening.
I do.
I've probably replayed Kingdom Hearts 2 like upwards of 8 times.
Wait,
Um,
Dave, you're saying you don't want to find all the missing words?
oh god, like
Our
now whenever I play it, the biggest problem with the opening is just the goddamn job thing, where it's like, oh, you wanna keep going in the game? Yeah, I want to do that too. All right, Roxas, let's go get me like $1 million so we can eat watermelons, and then
Well,
we'll
you do
continue.
know you don't have to do that, right?
No, because you have to have the money to get on the train.
You, I don't think so. You can actually just skip that part.
No, you have to do it. I tried.
I'm not kidding when I say this, though. I don't think you actually have to do that.
You,
I
I can
think you
tell you
can
for
like do
sure.
one or two jobs. You don't have to get the 800 money. I think.
Because they said you have to have 800. I don't know. They said you have to have a certain amount, and if you don't, if you don't pitch in and get all of it, then it just doesn't. They'll just be like, Roxas, where's your money? And you have to go do that. So whenever I do that
I
now,
actually distinctly remember going up to what's her face, Olette. I think she's the one in charge of it. You go up to her, and if you don't do anything, I think you just move on with the story.
I'd like to see this proven because I mean, I had to
I'm
do
going
that.
off of memory here. I played the game recently, so I would know.
How do you
Uh,
know we didn't play recently? Hmm.
because you're grounded. Sammy said he has. It's been a while since he's played it, and yeah, that's all the proof I need.
No, you don't. You need more.
I don't know, whatever. I just remember. I
But no,
remember.
I understand where you're coming from. It's like the
Yeah.
first time you play that, the game shoves it down your throat that you do need it, and even if
Yeah.
you can skip it, it gives you the impression that you have to do it. So naturally, you're not gonna like question it. You're just gonna go do it.
I
Don't
just use an
question the
action replay to
almighty
get
game.
past
Just
it.
play it.
I just go into the little action replay menu that I've got and just like, all right, so let's just give myself like 99,99999 money and get on with this. So
Hmm.
that's how I play the game now. I
That's
regret
not cheating.
nothing. I regret nothing.
I regret everything.
But
I
like, so the opening is pretty dull. The game itself, there's a lot of padding, but I still think because of the combat system and
oh
Oh my
the
gosh,
yeah,
actual
the
that
plot
combat system
itself.
was so much better.
I guess that's where I'm gonna get into why the game is actually just really awesome to play. Sure, it's linear. Say what you will about that, but the combat is high. It's high paced and it feels so much faster. I love it a lot. Like I
Oh
really
yeah.
do, and I'm glad they improved upon it in Birth by Sleep, where they kind of combined both like the best of both worlds.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember when I was playing the game, I was freaking out. I'm like, gotta get the better combo, gotta keep going, gotta hit him, then go over hit him, then jump over hit him, knock him in the air. Like I was trying to do it as fast and as awesomely as I possibly could.
And to top that off, it's like they gave you this whole array of keyblades you can use,
Right,
which
and all the
also had
abilities definitely helped out too.
exactly like it really felt like there was more to do, and there were different ways to actually play the game. Like you could be the attacking type, you could be the offensive, the defensive type, the magic type kind of guy who sits back and heals, things like that. And there were just so many different ways to play the game. Sure, sometimes it felt like you were just holding down the X button, kept tapping the X button, but that's really not like that's what people complain about, and I don't really think that's a huge problem. Um, and and sure the combat system's good though, but the where everything else like falls on its face sort of is that the game's really linear.
Okay. Next,
Anyone
next
want to
thing to go.
anyone want to add on to that?
We pretty much hit all the topics. I think. Let's move
Yeah.
on.
All right.
Okay. So next was Days.
Yes.
Oh man.
There was actually a lot of hype for me with this game, a lot. I had just gotten into the series, I looked online, and this is actually how I sort of got excuse me, how I sort of got exposed to Some Call Me Johnny, is watching his Kingdom Hearts video. You ever see that one, guys?
Where
Nope.
he was ranting about how like they're all on different consoles.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Um, he talked about three games: Birth by Sleep, 358, and Coded. Uh, and I was really hyped for the game once I saw the screenshots and the gameplay and everything. Because one, it was on the DS, meaning I could take my Kingdom Hearts with me, which seemed like a great idea at the time.
It sounds good in theory.
The note is at the time. Um, the graphics didn't look too bad. For my ignorant 8th grade mind, I could actually look at it and say, wow, this looks like console gameplay. And the game had a story, all that kind of crap. And then the game comes out. I picked it up day one. I played it to death. I actually enjoyed my first run through of the game. And then I started playing it again. And I'm like, wow, this is wow. Um,
Yeah, I remember with me when I got it. I got it as a happy surgery gift. It was like after my third surgery, so I was gonna be home for a while.
yeah, I
And
remember.
I remember like I liked the game, but then again, I was also on a lot of painkillers. So
That's how I felt when I was drugged up on the couch playing Metal Gear Solid 3D. I didn't notice the lag. I was so drugged up.
yeah, well, I wasn't like that. I mean, you know me, dude. I'd much rather deal with pain than take the painkillers. But I mean, like I had Tylenol in me, and I was doing. My prescription says sit on the couch play video games, so that's like all I did in like an hour schoolwork a day.
Um,
So I mean, I
but
like the game for that. But then again, that was a completely different time. Then I started playing it when I was like going places, and I'm like, okay, it's a good game. You know,
I
could be better. But
see.
for DS, it's not too bad on the DS.
See, for me, my opinions now is that it's actually pretty. It's like kind of legitimately bad. Uh, the game just. I don't know. The game is actually pretty long for what it is, like a DS game. It's really long actually. I think it was like
Oh
a
yeah,
10-hour story, maybe longer.
Ryan's on.
Oh sweet,
Yeah.
you can join in.
The game's really long. There's a lot of worlds, but the big thing with it is a lot. No matter how long it is, a lot of that is still padding in the end.
Exactly.
Because it's all mission based. You're not even really progressing the story half the time so much that you're just all right, Roxas, go to the world and collect these floating, collect me things, and and they're just there. It's like, well, why are they there? It's like, oh, we fuck, I don't know.
Dino City, bro.
I'm gonna add Ryan to the call. So
I'm already
he's
adding them.
okay.
Ryan's here.
Hey Ryan.
See, I'm on
Oh,
top
Hey,
of
Dave.
it. You're not.
This is Sammy, by the way, Ryan.
Oh, hey, Sammy.
hello.
All right, you missed the first three games. We're on 358 over 2 days. What a way to come into yeah. What a way to come. What a
Wait,
way
was
to
Al?
come. What a way to come into the conversation, right?
Yeah, was Alan here?
No.
I wanted to invite him, but he was not available.
He saw Dave was on.
I,
He's like,
I,
sign up.
couldn't. I was having a blast, but you were
Anyway,
having.
Hmm.
All
um,
right,
On to the next topic.
358 is a
bloat.
mission-based game, and I don't like mission-based structures too much. I think the only time I could see it really working is for Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. For every other game I've ever played, that's a horrible, horrible way to play out a game.
Yeah, Peace Walker's not bad.
In a menu system like that, where you were forced to do certain objectives, forced to do like all these things, it's not a good idea.
Well, the thing is, it's not even a necessary game. Like this, we already know
It,
everything said about Shion, and they could have like done that in a flashback. Like really, it was
exactly. They
completely
they could have
unnecessary.
they could have explained it in a short flashback in another game.
Right.
But they didn't.
It was dull. It was repetitive. The missions weren't
Mhm.
fun,
It was the
and
same
I
mission
think
over and
Like
over again with a different background.
the
Exactly.
repetition.
right. I think the biggest, probably the thing that pissed me off the most was you know, in the end, everything
Doesn't
that you
even matter.
did does not even matter. You know,
Exactly.
so you
Really.
spend
Exactly.
this entire game,
No, not
learning these
everything.
characters
You get a
and
you get a feel for when Roxas is,
Shut
losing
up.
his ice cream
Sammy's
buddy.
talking.
oh my god. Yeah, like I
No,
spent the
no,
whole,
it's not
the
all
whole
fun because you
game.
see Ventus in the game, but that's it.
Yeah, like half the marketing for the game was like, oh, there's this new organization member. Better find out who this guy is.
Purple.
So I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait to find out who the new organization member is. And then, like,
Some
the question that
lesbo
everybody's
chick.
asking, like the reason that the question that everybody's asking is like, well, if they have a 14th member, then why does nobody mention her after that? So you want to really, you really want to see what's going on there. But
Turns out
when you
she
get to
never
the
existed.
end, it's like, surprise, she doesn't exist anymore. And I'm like, that is the biggest cop out I've ever, like, God, I hate that.
Yeah, that's what really pissed me off was actually the story. It was just so slow paced and boring, and
And the final boss was just like Xion was easier than Riku. Like I mean no, opposite way. Riku was 10 times easier than Xion, and Riku was the final boss. Riku took me what, like 2 minutes to beat. Not even.
yeah.
I think that was a case of
Shion took me forever to beat.
with with,
Yeah,
with Riku, the whole point was, you're supposed to feel like you're powerful and you're super cool and you got your
The
two
light is better
keyblades.
than the dark.
Right. So, you got that sort of thing. I definitely consider Shion like the real final boss of the game. I won't really fault them for making Riku a much easier fight because that wasn't really the point of the fight.
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, we already knew all about that fight anyway.
The only
So
thing I really took away from that game that translated to other games was okay, Axel and Roxas like sea salt ice cream.
Oh,
That's
and
about
they
it.
eat it
right.
like 356 days in a row. Like, oh
Yeah,
god.
like on top of a freaking clock tower. Like, who has that kind of money, first of all? Second of all, why on top of a clock tower? Like, someone's gonna fall and die eventually.
Well, I mean, I like the character. Like, I know you guys are probably gonna yell at me for this, but the game actually did have decent character development. It's just sad that Roxas isn't gonna remember it in the next game.
Right, like the
It's
character development was great. I'd say the script itself was great. It was I'd say the best in the actual, not the plot progression, but just the actual dialogue. I'd say was the best in the series
Well,
because
the thing is, all right. Well, in terms of character development, it was so long that it gave them plenty of time to develop the characters, but it just got tedious. Like the same stuff. They were saying the same exact thing over and over again. Eventually,
Yeah,
I suppose, but at the same time, it's the kind of thing where like if we're gonna have to discuss some sort of issue, personally, I'd rather have them talk about the stuff that they talk about in 358 days, which is like what is living, what does it mean to
have
actually
a
be a
heart.
person, to have a heart or whatever, where they're like like where they're telling Roxas like you're nobody, you don't exist, you don't matter, and
see, I like that a lot, Sammy. But that's where also having it on the DS is really a crutch. Um, the game could only have a couple of short little cutscenes, and other than that, the voice work is totally gone.
Dave, you're
I
breaking up.
I'm breaking up. Am I breaking up, guys?
Dave,
No,
you're
um,
you're
breaking up.
fine. Ryan's breaking
I,
up.
Yeah,
I
Ryan's
hear you fine now.
internet's dying. Um, I think that that's fine and
Yeah,
all.
my internet's dying. It was me. My bad.
Yeah. Uh, I just think that it's a crutch because although Sammy, you did not like the writing in Kingdom Hearts 2, you can't deny that the voice actors were really well picked. Like they just didn't take their role as seriously. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think
I
that
think
Barely
they did a
had
good
any
job in
voicing.
Days, though. I mean, I never really noticed a difference between the voice acting in Days
I'm not
and
talking about like just the voice acting in general. I'm saying that if it were on the PS2 or another system that could put voice work in there, because one, the DS's sound, the card itself wasn't big enough to hold all that, and two, uh, the 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 sound quality's crap on a DS. It's
Yes.
right. I mean, with that, it's just an issue with the game being on the DS.
yeah. All I'm saying is that it's a shame that with a game noted for its great voice acting, we weren't able to hear it as much in that game. And with all the text and dialogue I have to read, it's just annoying.
I'm learning.
Especially since half of that's not going to matter anyway. Like especially in the Disney-based world, like that didn't matter whatsoever. None of that dialogue meant
Yeah.
anything. Uh,
On the other hand, I think that the gameplay was not too shabby. It's just that controlling a 3D game with a D-pad is just such a pain in the butt.
it's
Right.
just overly. It's just over long. Like, and it was actually going to be longer. They were going to have 3, 5, 8 missions. They're going to have that many missions. Thank God they shortened that.
I'm
Oh my
guessing for
gosh,
one
yes.
reason or another, it was because the DS's limitations.
Yeah.
I
Like,
I mean, I'd forgive the game if all the problems came from it being on the DS, but you know,
But
poor plot
that's
progression
honestly
and
how it
mission structure and
is.
stuff like that. Well,
The
I
the
mean,
other problem is that they after you're done the main game, you can go back and have a friend, play the missions together. But the game could have been like that on the PS3, and you could have played it online. You know, what the hell?
it's the sort of thing where like it even though it is on the DS and it does kind of suffer from that because it's a weaker system, I can't just use the DS as an excuse to forgive poor plot progression, bad mission structure, you know,
Repetitive
really
gameplay.
repetitive gameplay, a really badly planned story, that sort of thing. Like it just it just
Because
does. There are a lot of problems that the game has that just can't really be forgiven because of the fact that it's on the DS.
And the sad part is, actually did a few things right, in my opinion. Like, they successfully, kind of put the engine on there. They put a graphic style that you could actually like pair on the DS there. Like, I could see everything pretty clearly there. I just think that for everything it did right, there are at least three or four things the game did wrong, and that's what really brings it down, in my opinion.
One step
Yeah,
forward, two steps back.
Got a
I can.
100,000 pounds sitting on your back. Um,
all right, cool.
I don't like the game. I liked it at first. I played it. I enjoyed it. I put it down. You
I
know,
agree.
never
Yeah,
picked it up again. And I don't think at this point I could pick it up again, unless it got like an HD remake. I doubt that's gonna happen. You know that
no, that game isn't worth that.
well, unless it's on the PS3 and we can play online, I'd be down for that. But
It's
Yeah.
just not enough really happens in the plot. Like nothing happens in the game to really warrant, like a big HD remake or something. There'd be other games in the series that would deserve that better.
exactly.
I think that's a problem with a lot of the games in. Well, I guess not a lot, but you know, both of the DS games is that just in the end they don't matter.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
like in 358 Days, you've got Shion. I love Shion. She's a great character, but in the end, she doesn't matter. Like she's
Well,
gone. That's it.
she's probably
So
going to come in somewhere
We
in
we
three.
could have gotten around the series without her. Like she didn't.
the whole point of that game was to show that Roxas got fed up with the organization and he left.
Yeah.
And from that point of view, I'm like, well, I can already tell. What's wrong with just saying he got fed up with the organization and he
Well, then
left?
you wouldn't get to
Like,
play as Dark Sora with two keyblades and just FSU.
I have no idea what you just. Never
Fuck
mind.
shit up.
oh,
I think
Thanks,
Ryan.
Theo.
Ryan, you're
No
still
problem.
there. Okay. I do think Shion's probably going to be coming back in the series, considering if they're going through the trouble of writing an Axel and everything. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Shion in there. In a way, she still exists. It's just that everyone forgot about her. She exists in Sora's heart.
Oh
Exactly.
God, how many people does he have in his heart now? Like,
Yeah, that's the. I think that's gonna be what they're gonna
He's a heart
do
hotel.
next.
Like,
He's a
Yeah,
hot
that's.
whore.
I think that's one of going to be one of the main points in 3D.
uh, actually, well, I'm sure in some way it's going to be something like that.
They kind of he said something about that in the trailer. Do you remember that? He said it's like my heart's a prison for other hearts or something like that. He said something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, 358. I'm sure if you're trying to get into the series for the first time, you really want to experience what the
Don't play that one.
series is. No, I would say give it a shot because it's probably
Well,
cheap.
don't start with that one.
Don't start with that one. That's a bad impression. Don't even play the series chronologically, really.
Okay, let's move on to the next game.
All right, Birth by Sleep. Um,
I
I'm
like
gonna
Best
let
one.
Ryan and Sammy kind of talk this one out because you guys seem to like the game a lot more than I do. And don't get me,
I never played it.
yeah, I know Steve can't really voice his thoughts here. He only knows what it is.
Yep.
Well, I'll start off. Like, I mean, you can argue that 358 was unnecessary. You could probably argue that this one's not too, but I think this one does a better job of telling a story that we didn't know anything about. Whereas like 358, we knew pretty much everything about that except the Shion stuff. Like
Right.
this, we didn't know the backstory of Xehanort and whatnot. Like this, maybe you could have explained this all in a flashback, but I think they did a good job with fleshing this out in the entire game. You know?
See, I think the story is totally necessary,
Yeah, it's
especially
a story that's worth being told.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
it was a really clever way to like put all these homages in from the other games in there to show really how everything came about. I thought it was so cool when I saw Aqua create Castle Oblivion from what's the place called? Where you start off.
the what was that? What was it called?
The
By the way, spoilers.
Keyblade
Kebab.
the
Keyblade
key yeah.
Cabana.
Let's
Land of
just say
Departure. Land of
let's just
Departure.
Land of
uh,
Departure. Yeah, that's right.
I like Keyblade Kebab better though.
um, I I thought I found it so cool when they explain how Pete got to being the way he is in Kingdom Hearts 2. I love the way how like I was wondering why Ven looked so much like Roxas, and that's explained in the story.
Yeah,
There are even like dialogue scenes from Kingdom Hearts 1 that are explained in this game.
yeah, exactly.
Like you know how when Sora goes to Halabashan for the first time, he says he's felt like he's been there. It's not just because of Kyrie; it's because Ven was there.
Yeah. Well, no, he wasn't in Traverse Town. Oh, you mean Hollow Bastion? Never mind.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad.
And like you guys said, it's a story worth being told. But I also think that it's extremely important to the series because Xehanort's in it.
Yeah,
Right.
Xehanort.
And
I'm really
regarding
glad
the whole, the whole explanation with Van, that was really greatly explained. Where it's just like, Roxas shows up and he's like, "Hey, why do I look like that guy?" And Aqua's just like, "Well, it was like 12 a.m., and Nomura really needed to get the design up for Ven, and he just kind of rooted through his computer, found Roxas, and just, gave
And
it
we
to
were
him."
really drunk.
Yeah. So
That
that's
so
basically.
really the biggest, really the biggest, the only really big flaw is the voice acting for Ven and Terra.
Oh, oh
and
Like
God.
no, I'm
everything,
talking
everybody else is pretty much fine. Like
I'm talking
especially,
Oh,
Aqua.
actually, wait. You said Ven and Terra?
I meant Aqua, not Ven. Sorry, I meant Aqua.
Oh, I was like, Ven's
No,
fine.
Ven was fine. Yeah,
Aqua.
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 That's what.
Good God.
God.
Nobody
Aqua, I
cares
don't
about you,
think,
Ben.
But this
like,
it had some. I mean, it made up for that. I think with Master Xehanort and Haley Joel Osment as Vanitas was fantastic.
I don't think, the thing with Aqua is like, you know, I can kind of forgive like over the top voice acting, and I really wish she was just over the top. But she wasn't. It was like quite the opposite.
Well,
The biggest thing with
It was
Aqua is I don't think she could have given a shit like any less if she tried.
here's my main problem with Ven, or not Ven. Why do I keep saying that?
yeah.
Terra and Aqua. They were both given voice actors that just don't put any emotion into the character.
Has the darkness taken
At
you?
all.
Then stay here. I'm going. It's like, come
Oh
on.
no, I
You
won't
couldn't have
let you
said, Ven, stay
take
here,
them.
I'm going. Like, I could do that better. I'm sorry, but I could do that better.
I won't let you take parts of my
Like, I
friends.
think the best line that the voice who played Terra ever said was when he was yelling Xehanort's name. He's like, Xehanort! Like, that was the best, like, time he's ever... I'm like, oh my god, come on. And I don't know. I didn't really like their voice actors. I think all the other voice actors were great, but that's also because they were also from other games. So
Like, no, Haley Joel Osment was fantastic. Like, I think he was really great as Vanitas.
yeah, I also think he had the evil laughter down. I think
Don't
Leonard
you?
Nimoy was also great as Xehanort, but
Yeah, he was good.
you know, I also liked Master Ericus. You know, he just up and dies. um,
Yeah, Mark Hamill.
Ericus is square with the letters jumbled. Oh,
Thank
I
you.
see what
wait,
you
and
did there.
wait, and Sammy, and he dies. Are they trying to tell us something?
Right.
Oh my
Ah,
god. They
Final
died 10
Fantasy
years
Oh
ago.
you
And
did just come
my
out.
god.
Oh man, I don't even remember what we're talking about. Now. Okay, so we got Birth by Sleep. You know, again, that's a great game. And did we talk about Recoded? I don't even know because that game was so pointless and never needed to happen that I kind of forget about it.
Awkward silence.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, does that mean no?
I'm sorry, I wasn't
Wait, what
listening.
did you say?
So, so did we talk about Recoded? That game is just so
Well,
pointless and
I want to say more about Birth by Sleep with its
oh,
gameplay.
Did anybody even finish that game?
I did not finish it.
Birth by Sleep. I finished that. I beat it in I think proud mode or not critical mode, but the one below that, proud mode.
Um, I even
Because
played it on easy, and I thought the game was hard. But
I'm proud mofo.
see, you guys like Sammy. You say it's your favorite game in the series, and I can atone for that if it were on consoles. Like to me, the PSP is hard to hold. I don't like the control scheme. I think the game would have been a lot better on consoles. And like the PSP, I think we can all kind of agree that it was just a stupid system to even be released. Like Sony didn't exactly get the idea of portable handhelds. You know,
I mean, if I may venture off for a little bit, I think the PSP it was a fine system. It just didn't get enough games. But whatever. Um, I digress. With with Birth by Sleep, I think it did a great job with working around the limitations of the PSP. I think the combat system is the best in the series by far, just because it's got the
Yeah,
instead
I
of
do
using
like.
the
I do really
magic,
like that.
instead of using a useless magic system, it's got the little command menu there, and that helps a lot. So yeah, I think it helped make the combat really fluid and fast paced, and that definitely worked for it. The story was great. The script was pretty awful, but the plot progression was good, so that's all fine.
it was a great game.
Yeah, so definitely it's a
But
great.
anyway, we gotta wrap this up now or soon because I gotta get off like really soon. Give our quick thoughts on
Why?
Recoded, and then maybe tomorrow we can get some more thoughts on 3D.
Well, I'm leaving you guys now, so
All
catch you
right, see you,
tomorrow,
Steve.
hopefully.
I
All
love
right,
you.
Uh,
later.
We'll give our thoughts later on 3D, and I'll edit the whole video together.
All right.
Have you played Recoded, Sammy?
I played it for about 30 minutes, thought it was stupid, and then I never played it again.
See, that's the thing.
Same.
I thought that at first I was playing it, I'm like, oh wow, they actually, world to world progression, cool little glitch system gameplay, and then they
Yeah.
introduced the
At first,
gimmicks, and I hated it.
yeah. At first, I was like, oh, this isn't too. First, I was like, this isn't too bad. Then I got to Hercules World. I was like, this is awful.
Yeah, they tried to put in a whole world with turn-based mechanics.
Why,
Dumb.
why did they have to change the mechanics of gameplay every single world? Why?
I just didn't. I don't know. Like there's stealth in Alice in Wonderland's world. You have your different stuff. The game was unnecessary to begin with, but it made an already unnecessary game just more pointless to play.
I mean, this one's more unnecessary. This one's more unnecessary than 358. This is the most unnecessary game.
It's pretty much actually, when you think about it, just a better version of Chain of Memories. It's all rehashed worlds from Kingdom Hearts 1, and
But the thing is, Chain of Memories had a good ending, like an important ending to the game. But
yeah,
Rikuda has anything going for it.
Recoded
Except you
was
find out that he's got people stuck in his heart. But you could, well, we already knew that from Birth by Sleep.
it was a pointless game. I
So,
didn't like it. So to wrap
yep.
things up, I think that the Kingdom Hearts series is a great series. It's just that it takes too many steps back sometimes. It had
It's
something.
I mean,
oversaturated.
they're
And there's
always
just
trying something new.
Go ahead.
uh,
They're always
um,
trying something new, but like a lot of times it doesn't work. But I like that they do realize that, and like the only system they brought back was the system from Birth by Sleep. Really, they brought that back in Recode, and I think they're doing that again in 3D. Like they see what works and what doesn't, and they do a good job of reincorporating what does work into other games.
But I think that
Know what
from
I
now
mean?
on, yeah, I think from now on, the series really, really needs to take a step. Like Tetsuya Nomura and the whole team that's working on it really needs to look at it and say, "Wow, this could be better on a console." You know, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Kingdom Hearts is a series I want to spend time with, and the only thing I can, I want to do that on a console, not a handheld.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys can vouch for me on that one. You know, Breath by Sleep felt like a long game, just didn't feel like it was supposed to be on a handheld. And of course,
yeah,
358 tried to do the whole handheld schniz with the mission-based structure, but that fell flat on its face. So I think with 3D, I think it's gonna be a fun game. I already put a lot of time into playing my 3DS because it's awesome. But I just think that as a whole, I love half the series. I hate the other half. Like I love the first, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, the first one, the second one. The other half I just don't like. I just stay away from, or no, Birth by Sleep. Yeah, I mentioned that. You know what I mean. Like I
yeah,
don't really go back and pick up the other games all that often. So yeah, um,
yeah.
this will be a quick jump cut to you guys, but we're gonna give our thoughts on Recoded soon. So yeah,
All right. You mean
um,
okay.
3D?
3D. Sorry, why am I saying?
You messed up tonight.
I messed up. I'm tired. But
Go
yeah,
Anyway,
sleep. Good
Sammy,
night, world. Good
what?
night, sun. Good night,
we're gonna
moon.
jump cut. It's gonna be like we never left. So shut up.
All right.
So goodbye.
Goodbye.